Hey everyone, welcome to this module. So in this module, we're going to be talking about the pre-lander. So we're going to be going through the process on understanding what a pre-lander is. Just right starting with these guys. So basically the pre-lander is that page that is going to receive your customers or your audience from your ad. So and this page is a bridge that is going to connect your customer with your product. So the idea of this page is basically kind of like go and create a better trust in your product. It's like warm up your audience and make your audience going with a different state of mind your to your product page, which is basically what we are looking for here is like creating a higher buying intent once they get into the product page. So now if you follow here, so this pre-lander, what it's gonna make us is increase the chances or the chances to the visitor to take an action. The way that it behaves different than a website page is just because it's more focused. It used to be with like one message or one path. Okay, it's distraction free. There is no menus, no extra links. It's more focused on the actual information that you want to share with the audience. Okay, it's built to pre-sell. Okay, it's basically kind of like get the desire up and the drop down based on the whole data that is going to be contained into this landing page, and also basically sends the click to the product page with a higher intent of buying. Okay, so now that we know what a pre-lander is, right? So the next thing that you need to know about this is like there are going to be two main type of pre-landers that we're going to be using for our stores or for our supplements. Okay, so the first one that we're going to be talking about is going to be the advertorial, and the other is going to be the listicle. So in this case, you see, we're going to be talking about in this case advertorial. So advertorials are more content style history. It looks more like an article, like an editorial content. Okay, it's like you are reading a magazine. So the thing is like this article is built for selling. What it looks for is educate, build belief, and position your product with a solution or as a solution. So the goal of the advertorial is educate the reader, build the belief, handle objections, and position your product as the solution. Okay, so when you use the advertorial, so well, the advertorial you use more when the product needs education, when the product needs to explain why this works. So the thing is that there are products that there are, let's say, like new in the market that possible is something that could happen with one of your product guys, and then we need to explain to the or we need to educate the market, like to understand more about our product. So the market is skeptical and it's proof just because they don't know the product. Okay, so they want to make sure that they are making a right decision. So you have a strong mechanism or angle to explain. Okay, maybe you went through the process when you were defining the angle or your audience customer and the pain point that you are going to be like hitting on your product, and then this is unique, and then you want to make people understand and know more about this, right? So if they don't know, it's going to be hard for them just go to the product page and then buy something. So basically here we have to explain this mechanism that is going to help them for their concern or for their actual current health situation, right? So selling something that requires trust. So maybe it's a product that is new, you see, and your product page alone is not converting to cold traffic. So this used to happen when we run campaigns and we start running ads on something that is going into the product page directly, and then we see that it's not working. So if you see that you have a supplement that is well studied, you did your research, you did everything, and then you find that it's not converting. So then if you are using only product page, so then it's because your actual audience is not really trained on your product. They don't understand too much about your product. So you need to give them more information in a way that they feel that you are not selling them something. So then this is kind of like the actual reasons when you are going to be using them. Here you can see kind of like the minimum structure that you are going to be considering. Okay, so now one thing that I have to mention about the structure is that they they are going to be coming on multiple ways, okay? And we're going to be seeing a couple of examples, but this is kind of like the minimum thing that you're going to be considering as a structure for your advertorials. It's going to have a headline, a problem. It's going to be talking about the problem. It's going to have a section on why it happens, the solutions, social proof, and then the warranty or the call to action. Okay, so this is what we're going to be following with advertorials. So now let's take a look of a couple of examples of an advertorial. Okay, so here this is an advertorial. Let me just scroll up here. So you see, so it looks more like editorial article. You see, it has the headline here. You have like a recommendation on who is writing this article, and then you see that they right away start without the product. So this is a way that is done, and this is mainly when you are trying to sell something that there is no too much information around. Like something that you want to introduce to the market that is kind of like a new unique mechanism, and then so you will start talking about the product like this. Okay, so then it's just kind of like a conversation or an article that it was writing based on the product, but at the end the product is going to be to introduce. So you see how much I have scroll down here, and you see that the product is still not introduced. So then eventually we start seeing the product. Here it is. Okay, in this case it's this device here for hands. Okay, so you see now that they start talking about the product. They start kind of like highlighting the product in different ways. Okay, this one actually is a long one, but it's a really good example for you to see how editorial is. Okay, so actually, as you see here, when you see this is kind of like a social proof, okay, about the product, testimonials, more social proof, okay, and then uh, let's see here. So you see they start introducing like the pricing of the product and everything, and then here the call to action. So here's another example. Okay, so this is more for a device, but you see the difference on this one here is that they introduce right away. Okay, so maybe they are working with this one for a different state of mind. Okay, audience, and then of course they know more about this situation. They know more about like the issue. So then they introduce the product kind of like in the very first section of the advertorial. So it's the pen of the product in the case that if your product is something that is really innovative or it has a unique mechanism that is not something that you haven't seen too many others sellers other businesses doing something like that. So then this is something that you want to consider more like this, right? Like without showing the product at the very beginning here. So then you see here kind of like how the structure is, okay, is more information, and then here is the actual button for the call to action. So here is another example. Okay, they are also showing the product at the very beginning, but you see the headlines. Okay, so you have here all of the information. They start adding different buttons here. Okay, so how you're going to be getting in contact with this is going to be through your research. So on your research, when you are doing research for your competitors and other businesses, you're going to start finding these advertorials. So the idea here is like taking the advertorials from your competitors as an inspiration and then having them for your product to create something pretty similar. Okay, so it's important to go and try to find those actual inspirations how your competitors are doing. So now let's talk a bit about the listicle. So the listicle is more like a comparison style list, okay? So it's more for hold attention, create research feeling, and then guide toward the best choice. So it's when your customer or your audience has a higher level of awareness, okay? That basically you are gonna be trained to kind of like find what is this specific angle or approach that is going to make your customer make a better decision or a decision when they go to the product page. Okay, so you see here are for people that are already aware of the category of your product and want to compare. The product is easy to understand, but you need a stronger bridge. It's like it's a product that is well known, if we can say that in a way, or is known, but then you need stronger data for just to make a better preparation of your audience. So entering a crowd market with a best pick framing is like when you have a product that is well known, but then you have a specific angle that you are trying to sell that product, and then you just kind of like go and try to hit that specific angle through that pre-lander. Okay, so also when you want a faster and lighter read than a deep story. So if your product doesn't need like a really long, as you see here, advertorial like this, but you now understand why they are used. So when you don't need it like this, so listicles are a really, really good option to go. So here you can see the structure, okay? So also has a headline, it has like a 2, 3 lines intro, okay? It's just like a short intro there, and then the list, like at the top five, the 5 reasons. It used to be reasons, and you're gonna see a couple of examples, okay? Something that you can put on a list. Then introduce the solution, the social proof, and then the warranty and the call to action. Okay, so as I mentioned before, they could have more sections. Okay, it's depending of how you find it for your competitors. So now here I'm gonna show you kind of like a couple of listicles. As you see here, when you see it by the first sight, it's like a pretty similar of what you see from the advertorial, right? But when you go in the structure, you see that they start going a little bit different. They start with 6 reasons. In this case, six reasons husbands are claiming these honey sticks save their marriage. You see? So then they have like this short intro here. They have like who is the person that is writing this, right? And then here you start with your reasons. Okay? They name the reasons. They kind of like highlight with images to the side. Okay? And then here is introduction to the call to action, some social proof, and that's it. Okay, they used to be shorter, okay, more specific, but you see that has all the elements. So here is another example: 10 reasons why this natural blood flow solution crushed the blue pill. Okay, so here it is pretty similar. So you see the actual coincidences or match. You see, so here we have the 10 different reasons that they are talking about here. Okay, you see that they start introducing the project right after the reason number 5. Okay, and then here they have the call to action, and they actually, this is what they have as a social proof, okay, which is an image that can be created easily using AI. So this is the listicle. You see the example there, guys. um, the idea of this is kind of like a understanding what the advertising, what the listicle is that you want to use as your prelander, highlightly for your products, for your supplements, and then understanding more about like the reasons why we go with this as an important part of our funnel. So now the tools that we're gonna be using for us to build our prelanders, okay, are gonna be two AI tools. So the very first one is gonna be Claude. Okay, so Claude is perfect because it allows you to do better writing, and as freelancers needs to be good on writing, so we want to really consider it with Claude. Okay, so now for those that has ChatGPT, so you can do it also with ChatGPT. So, but if you have the possibilities to have Claude 2 into your AI ecosystem for creating better landing pages or better pre-landers, so Claude is the way to go. Okay, so it's perfect for copywriting, and also it's pretty good for kind of like helping us on structure our landing pages. Okay, so it allows us to have better views, better writing. So I would say that Claude is the way to go for the landing pages. Um, then the other tool that you're going to be using is going to be Lovable. Okay, so Lovable is necessary as you are going to be building your lander here. So basically, Lovable is going to be your AI for creating the page. Okay, so as you see here, we have like a multiple pages here. So uh, for example, I can show you this one here. Okay, so basically, we just provide a prompt, and then it creates the lander for us. Okay, so um, you want to consider having Lovable. Lovable has a subscription or a credit system. Okay, so just by going into the pricing for Lovable, so you can find which one fit better for you. Okay, like which subscription fit better for you. So we can see a little bit more around like the pricing. Okay, yeah, here is the pricing you see. So you have a free version where you can start playing around, okay? So, but with the 25 per month, you can start building. So, and they give you with the 25 per month, it gives you like 100 monthly credit, which is a good quantity of credit for you to create landing pages here in Lovable. So I'm gonna be coming with the next video explaining more about like how we're gonna be using AI to help us on this. See you in the next one.